This video is brought to you by America First Insight. Help support the growing conservative movement by becoming a member today. And if you want to support this channel, you can also use the code REAL when becoming a member. Thank you and enjoy the video. So as everyone knows, earlier this week, Mike Johnson and the House leadership got the big beautiful bill passed, which was a very close vote. I think it was like 215 to 214. Either way, it was a very close vote. It almost didn't pass, which if it didn't pass, that would have been absolutely pathetic. But at the end of the day, it did in fact pass, which was a big win for Trump, was a big win for Mike Johnson, and everyone thought, okay, the hard part's done. We got through the House. Theoretically, the Senate should pass this with relative ease. Well, it turns out, no. In fact, you could argue that right now, the bill has zero chance of passing in the Senate right now, which is pathetic. Now, guys, before I continue with today's video, I need you to like and share this video right now. It's a great way to support the content. It's a great way to support the video. It helps it out in the algorithm. So like and share the video right now. And if you aren't subscribed, subscribe right now. These are great ways to support the content. But enough of the promotional stuff. We got to talk about how utterly worthless the Republican Party really is. Now, I want to be clear about one thing. The bill is not perfect. Obviously, I've been critical about it for some of the things it doesn't do. It doesn't have as big of cuts as it should have. That's true. I'm not denying that. That's one of the parts of the bill that I'm kind of mad about. Like, wait, we expected much bigger cuts. But that doesn't mean this bill has absolutely zero cuts whatsoever. There are still some major cuts in the bill. I think we're cutting, I believe, $150 billion or something. It's a lot of money. Obviously, when you factor in the defense spending and the immigration stuff, which is good, the immigration stuff is really the big part of the bill that Trump was pushing for, and it's good stuff. It's worth it. That's why I support the bill. It's not perfect. Obviously, if it was a perfect world, I would have wanted much bigger cuts, no increases to defense spending, but we don't live in a perfect world. It's still a very good bill. It's a good starting point. But for whatever reason, you have some morons in the Senate trying to derail the entire bill. Now, not every person that's trying to stop it is bad. Like, for example, Ron Johnson of Wisconsin, he's a great guy. He's probably a top 5 senator. He's great on the issues. I understand why he's doing this. He raises some valid points. It's not like he's doing this to spite the orange man. He's not. His reasoning is, hey, we have a mandate. We need to go back to pre-pandemic spending, which I agree with. That's what he's pushing for. He's saying we need real cuts to spending, not just a tiny bit here and there, which is good. It's a good start, but I understand what Ron Johnson is pushing for. He's just saying, right now, we have to have more cuts. Not just 10 billion here, not just 10 billion there. We need actual cuts. And he agrees with some of the stuff in the bill. I think he said that the tax cuts are good, but we need to do even more. Which I agree with this. I understand why Ron Johnson is doing this. But at the same time, is it really worth stopping this bill from passing? Because, yeah, you want more tax cuts. You want to bring back a pre-pandemic spending, which I agree with. But are you really going to sink the bill because it doesn't cut that much spending? Which it still is a cut. That's what people are not mentioning. It still is a cut overall. Now, some people are claiming, well, the deficit's going to go up because of tax cuts, but they said the same thing back in 2017. Remember that? Oh, Trump's tax cuts are going to increase the deficit by so much. No, that's not what happened. In fact, revenue went up. What actually did happen was spending surged. That's why the deficit went up. That's what they don't tell you. The only reason the deficit keeps going up is we're spending too much money. So I understand what Ron Johnson is trying to do here. He's just saying, we can't support the bill right now because we want more cuts. But at the same time, I just don't think it's worth starting this fight right now. Especially when you factor in, oh yeah, Trump is going to use the rescission process later this year. And for those that don't know what this is, it's basically the way we're going to get the Doge cuts codified. It's the only way we can get it through without going through the god-awful process of trying to get 60 votes or whatever. And Trump can do this as many times as he wants to. It's a weird process, but effectively, You don't have to worry about the filibuster. It's a way around it. And that's what even I think Mike Johnson and Byron Donalds, that's what they said. They said, we are going to use the rescission process to get spending cuts through. That's their plan. That's how they're going to codify the Doge stuff. And that's why they're not really worried about it now. So you are getting spending cuts, just you're going to vote on it later. That's their plan. Again, I know it sounds stupid. I get that. But right now, this bill is trying to slow down spending, which it does. It does. I don't care what people tell you. It slows down spending. And theoretically, if the economy really does grow, which I think it will, there's a good chance the deficit does go down. So it's worth it. But okay, I can understand why Ron Johnson is doing this. He's doing this for actual reasons, not just to spite the orange man. But there's one person that really has no excuse, and it's just like Thomas Massie in the House. Of course, I'm talking about Rand Paul. And just like Thomas Massie, Rand Paul is one of the biggest grandstanders I have ever seen. This guy is a fraud. I don't care what he claims to support. He is a fraud. I know he has a last name Paul, which everyone thinks of Ron Paul, but Ron Paul actually had an idea what to do. He knew what he was doing. Rand Paul has no clue what the hell he's trying to accomplish here. This guy has done nothing. Just like Thomas Massie, his strategy over the course of 15 years, just like Thomas Massie, has accomplished nothing. There has been zero spending cuts with the strategy. Their strategy is just to oppose everything, never compromise, no matter what, and by some miracle, you're going to be right. No. In fact, you're actually hurting your chances of getting any kind of spending cuts. Because when you do this crap of opposing it no matter what, no one wants to work with you. And that's what these morons don't understand. Instead of trying to get, let's say they want $500 billion in spending cuts. Okay, that's what they want. They want more, obviously, but let's just say $500 billion. Well, instead of trying to compromise at $250 billion, they say, no, we want $500 billion no matter what, or we're not going to pass it. And when they do that, they get nothing. In fact, it forces the Republican caucus to do what the moderates want. The moderates want more spending? Okay. The deficit hawks, meanwhile, they're so insane that no matter what you do, you never appease them. They really think this strategy works. It doesn't. I understand the philosophy of we gotta cut spending. I get that. Ron Johnson, at least, he's probably gonna support the bill. At the end of the day, they're gonna make a deal and say, look, we're gonna cut a bit more spending here and there, but wait for the summer. That's when we're gonna get real cuts through. That's what I think is gonna happen. But Rand Paul, he's never gonna accept that deal no matter what. Even though it would cut spending significantly, way more than his current strategy of, just oppose it no matter what and then complain about it. His strategy has done nothing. Can anyone think of a single time in Rand Paul's entire career where he got anything through when it comes to spending? I can't think of one single time. It's as if he's full of crap. He doesn't know what he's doing. That's the libertarian issue. The libertarian philosophy is, just oppose everything unless it's everything we get. No, you get nothing done. That's why that entire movement failed. That's why no one likes them. They get nothing done. They don't know how to use power whatsoever. So at the end of the day, I do think this bill is going to pass barely, but the fact that we have people like Rand Paul pulling this crap, at least Ron Johnson is doing it for a valid reason. Rand Paul, I don't care what he says, he's going to vote no matter what. He's going to vote no unless they cut spending by $5 trillion. I'm being serious, by the way. That's the only way he would ever vote yes. The other ones like McConnell, they're doing it to spite Trump. There, I said it. So I'm hoping this does pass, but the fact that we're fighting tooth and nail over this is stupid. We are going to have rescission stuff later this year with the Doge cuts, which a quick reminder that the only reason that we're not getting Doge cuts now is because a bunch of Republicans in the Senate, they don't support it for whatever reason, which is stupid. Like, seriously, you are given a mandate from the American people to cut spending, to slow it down, something. But right now, Rand Paul is on this crusade of getting zero spending. That's his entire strategy. It's stupid. And you wonder why Elon Musk is having enough. And I know some people are sick of Musk. I get that. But he's the richest guy on earth. He's worth hundreds of billions of dollars. He can help you. And you're pissing him off by doing nothing. This strategy is hurting your cause. I mean, this is stupid. Elon Musk, again, he's not perfect, but he had unlimited money. He could spend as much money as he wants to. And for whatever reason, the Republican majority, they're more worried about starting this shitfest over no reason other than to either spite the orange man or get unrealistic concessions. You're not getting this much in cuts. You're just not. The only way to get actual cuts through is through the rescission process. But these people are so dumb. They don't understand that. They don't understand or can't comprehend it. In fact, they probably do, but they don't care. They're just so gung-ho about this stupid strategy that they would rather possibly sink this entire bill, which would be a disaster, which it's just, this whole thing's dumb, over working with Trump and the Republican caucus on some kind of deal. Just mention something. You notice that's one thing they never do? They never explicitly mention any cuts. They just say, cut spending by $5 trillion. Okay, name one thing. They never do. They're frauds. They have no clue what they're doing. They're stupid. They're incompetent. And they wonder why no one takes them seriously. It's as if you don't say what you want, no one knows what you want. It's just common sense. Gee, you want how much is spending cuts? Okay, name one thing. Oh, you can't? You're full of crap. That's what's going on right now with Rand Paul and Thomas Massie. Ron Johnson will not oppose this at the end of the day, I don't think, unless something crazy occurs. Again, we'll see what happens, but I do think Ron Johnson and even Josh Hawley, who has some concerns about Medicaid, they're doing it for actual reasons. And they're actually talking to leadership about this. Rand Paul is just on Pluto. He doesn't know what he's doing. McConnell is doing it to spite Trump. Murkowski, same deal. So, yeah, I'm hoping it does pass. I think it will barely. Yet again, a 50-50 vote, and J.D. Vance has to say yes on it. That's what's going to happen more than likely. But the fact it's taken this long and it's such a grueling process to get anything done is pathetic. The stuff in the bill, any Republican should support it. But no, half these people that are opposing it, they're doing it for dumb reasons. Oh, it doesn't cut spending by $8 trillion. Yeah, no shit. You can't do that. So at the end of the day, let us hope that they go through the rescission process immediately after the bill is passed and they get cuts through. And then hopefully Rand Paul stops complaining, but he won't. In fact, watch him vote no on everything. Watch him vote no on all the spending cuts. Because of principles. Oh, it cuts $20 billion? Oh, it doesn't cut $5 trillion, so I'm going to vote no. He's going to do that. Watch. That's Rand Paul in a nutshell. Same with Thomas Massie. I understand why they're doing it, but the way they're doing it is stupid. And I'm hoping they change course now because, watch out. Thomas Massie might get primaried out in 2026. Like him or not, he is killing his political career over the dumbest of things. So, yeah, Rand Paul and Thomas Massie, wake up now. And same thing, well, McConnell is not going to run again, but the other Republicans like Tom Tillis and Lindsey Graham, hey, same deal. You want to lose a primary? Go right ahead. Vote no on this bill because it doesn't increase spending on God knows what. Anyways, folks, thank you so much for watching. If you guys did enjoy, smash the like button down below, subscribe, share with your friends, and of course, join the channel today. Godspeed to all of you.